You're going to learn how to find the determinant of a 2 by 2 and a 3 by 3. And because of COVID, 4 by 4s are confusing. So we're not going to learn 4 by 4 this year. The only ones we're going to do is a 2 by 2 and a 3 by 3. And this is how do you find the determinant of a 2 by 2. All you do is you multiply this diagonal, multiply this diagonal, and subtract. So here is the first ones. Find the determinant of these 2 by 2 matrices. 2 times a negative 2 is a negative 4, a minus sign in between. 3 times a negative 3 is a negative 9. Negative 4 plus 9 is 5. This is called the determinant. And in 9.7, which you're going to learn after 9.8, you're going to know why you have to find the determinant. A times A is A squared, minus sign in between. 0 times 0 is 0. A squared minus 0 is A squared. Okay, now we're going to move on. I think 2 of them was enough. I'll do one more. I'll do one more for you. 4, negative 1, negative 2, and 3. I'll do one like this. So let's make this one negative right here. Negative 4 minus a negative 2 times a negative 3 is a positive 6. Negative 4 minus 6 is a negative 10. That's how you find the determinant of a 2 by 2 matrix. Now, we're going to go ahead and find the determinant of a 3 by 3 matrix. And I'm just showing you a shortcut because it's COVID, and I think this is the easiest way to do a 3 by 3. Basically, all you're going to do is you're going to recopy the first 2 columns down next to it. Everybody see where we got this from? I copied this one down over here, and I copied down this one again over here. That's how you're supposed to do a 3 by 3. And then all you're going to do is pretty much the same concept. You are going to go in, just like you did in the first problems. See how you always went in this direction first? That's what you're going to do when you do this. You're going to go and do this diagonal of 3, this diagonal of 3, and this diagonal of 3. So I'm going to do that and multiply these together. 0 times 2 times 1 is 0. And then put a plus sign because the reds are all in the same direction. You see the diagonals are all in the same direction. A negative 2 times 4 is a negative 8 times a negative 2 is 16 plus, and the last diagonal also equals 0. So far so good. And then if you're going to go in the other direction, you have to do minus. And I'm going to go in the other direction. So it's this one right here. That one has 3 numbers in it. This one has 3 numbers in it. And this one has 3 numbers in it. And when you go in the opposite direction, if you look over here, this is the opposite direction. That's this number right here. You're going to just add those 3 diagonals together. So what do we get here? Again, I like to put them in parentheses. The first one is going to give you 6 times 2 is 12. The next one is going to give you 0 because 0 times 4 times 0 is 0. And the last one is going to give you 1 times negative 2 is a negative 2. So what's the determinant going to equal? Well, the red equals 16. That's the diagonal in one direction. Minus 12 plus 0 plus a negative 2 is 10. So 16 minus 10 is 6. Is called the determinant. One more, and I think we're done with notes. Again, how do you do a 3 by 3 matrix? All you're going to do is copy the first 2 columns again. So far, so good. And in order to do the right way, you have to go in this direction first. And these are going to go right here. So the first number is 0 because 3 times 4 times 0 is 0. The next one's a negative 28. and the last one is a positive 10. And then there's a minus sign, and then you also have to go in the other direction. 20 times 7. 20 times 7 is 140. This one's going to end up being plus 3, and the last one's going to end up being 0. So this ends up being a negative 18, and this ends up being 143. And a negative 18 minus 143 is going to be negative 161 for the determinant. A 4 by 4 and a 5 by 5 and a 6 by 6 are way too confusing, so we're just going to stop at the 3 by 3 since we're running out of time for this year. So